Hello, this is Scott Crossan, aka the Darknet, and welcome to my video blog about RPGs. We're continuing on with the top 10 lists for D&D, and last time I did top 10 worst settings. This time I want to do the top 10 best settings because you deserve the best, and I'm going to give you the best. So let's start with the best. Alright, coming in at number 10 is Jhakata, Island at War. Now, Jhakata is a very cool setting. Very kind of like the setting you'd see coming out of a heavy metal magazine. It's about a war between barbarians and necromancers. There's 3 books. First one deals with the barbarians, second one deals with the necromancers, third one deals with the war. Really well done. Great storyline. Has the best fight between prehistoric mecha you'll ever see. It's very awesome. Wish there was more, but actually thinking about it, it's probably about the right length. Comes in at number 10. Number 9 is Ghostwalk, which was a single book setting by Wizards of the Coast towards the end of the 3.0 series, right before they switched over to 3.5. It deals with the afterlife. Essentially what happens when the GM accidentally slaughters the entire group in an encounter and doesn't want the campaign to end. They end up in a kind of ghostly version of the campaign world they're in, populated by people who don't want to move on. And if you have a group like mine, it's generally populated by people that the PCs sent to the afterlife. Oh yeah. I'm planning to do that if I ever get the PCs all killed. The only down part was there was only one book. Wish there was some scenario support for it. But we got what we got. Very well worth the money if you find it. Ghostwalk comes in and richly deserves number 9. Number 8 is Arabian Adventures, Al-Qadim. Very good series of books. Very good series of box sets, and very good set of modules. Everything is top notch about this. The modules are really good. The books are really well put together. It has some great variant rules. Has the best variant version of a wizard I've seen, called the Shire, where you're a genie wizard and you use your little bitty genie familiar to get spells from more powerful genies. And trouble can start because of that, but it's just well put together. Everything's real good. It ended abruptly. Wizards just canceled it one day and never did anything with it. Put in some references that was part of the Forgotten Realms setting, which is not a good setting. I did vote that the worst D&D setting of all time. And wish there had been more, but like I said, was Ghostwalk. We got what we got, and I'm happy that we got what we got. So it definitely deserves the number 8. Number 7 is Ravenloft, which is the gothic horror setting that they did for 2nd edition. There is some 3rd edition and 3.5 books for that setting done by Art House, which is part of White Wolf. They're not that great. They're a little uninspired. Yeah, kind of forget it. Those are kind of forgettable. But the 2nd edition stuff is really good. Got a lot of iconic monsters. Got a vampire named Strahd. You may have heard of him if you're into D&D. Also got, just lots of vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein monsters, mummies, ghosts, ghoulies. There's gypsies that are trying to help you stop the evil. Just a all-around good time. Great campaign setting. There was announced to be a 4th edition book for that. Never got made. Probably, given 4th edition's track record, probably a good thing. Maybe we'll see it in D&D next. Hey, Wizards. Wizards, you want me to play D&D next? Put in Ravenloft. Great way to get some people. Just saying. Alright, that's number 7. Number 6 is Planescape, which is a setting based in the D&D Outer Planes. This is where the gods live. This is where the elementals are. This is where the demons and devils come from, and a lot of those outsider monsters which tend to dominate high-level campaigns. It's set in a city called Sigil, which is at the center of reality, and it's a very well put together setting, very internally coherent, really good setting, really like it. It kind of ended on a bad note in 2nd edition with a module called Die Vecna Die, where they end the big storylines. But still, really well done. If you got a good GM that puts in the prep time, well worth your time. Planescape definitely earns its place at number 6. Number 5 is Masqué of the Red Death, which is another ballsy move by Wizards. Back when Wizards had balls of giant brass. It's a Ravenloft setting. It's set on a place called Gothic Earth, which is Earth similar to the Earth of the 19th century. In fact, 1890 is the date. In that world, monsters are real and very dangerous, and try to keep themselves hidden. Magic's very real, very dangerous to use, and it's also hidden. It's very well put together. They do a real good job of having the 19th century technology and still have a D&D feel. If you see the old box set for 2nd edition, pick it up. There is a book by Art House for it. For the 3.5 rules, it's not very good. It's very underpowered, very forgettable. Pick up the 2nd edition stuff. You won't be disappointed. There's only a few books for it. There were a couple of adventures. Everything was really well done. Wish there'd been more, but yet again, you take what you get. Now we're going to get to the number 4, and I've kind of hustled through this video so I could have a little more time to talk about the top 4, because they're really good. I had a hard time picking out my favorites, but I did. I made my votes, and I'm going to stick with them. So let's start with the best of the best. Number 4 is the post-apocalyptic world of Dark Sun. Now, Dark Sun takes everything you thought you knew about 2nd edition D&D and throws it on its ear. The world's run by bad guys. They're called the Dragon Kings. They're psionic sorcerers who suck the life out of the planet to power their magic. They turn themselves into dragons, and they rule city-states, and they war with each other all the time. There's cannibalistic halflings. There's half-dwarves instead of half-elves for the most part. They're called mules. You've got half-giants. You've got a race called the Thykreen, which are giant psionic praying mantises. And they're awesome. And metal is rare, so if you've got a copper dagger, you're the bomb. On a few other things, it's got one of the best storylines ever. You start as a slave who's thrown in a gladiatorial match. You'll end up raising a rebellion against the Dragon Lords and fighting an epic war. Kind of ended abruptly too. They just kind of stopped making it. There was a 4th edition book which wasn't very good, kind of milquetoast. But like I said, the 3rd edition stuff was solid enough. It definitely fits in at least at number 4. Number 3 is Birthright, which Birthright's one of my favorites. It's a D&D setting that came out before Game of Thrones, but it's definitely, if you want a setting that's Game of Thrones and you don't want to play in the novels, if you can find Birthright, if you can find the original box set, pick it up. Everything is well done. Everything makes sense. It's very much, it kind of has a Highlander feel because your character can have the blood of gods, which gives them powers, and you can steal that blood from other characters by killing them. It also has really good kingdom building rules, very good mass combat rules for armies. If you want something a little bit newer, I would pick up the box set for Birthright and then go pick up Ultimate Campaign from Pathfinder, and hell, I might just do a video on how to do that. I think that's a great idea. I think I'll do that later. But like I said, Birthright, very well done. Yet again, another one that ended on a whimper instead of a bang. They just stopped making them. There's a couple modules for it. They're all real well done. Everything makes internal sense. You've got some great bad guys. One of them's called the Gorgon, which is a half-man, half-Gorgon, cursed by the gods. I mean, it just rocks. I'll probably do a video on all 4 of the top 4 at some point. Just singing their praises, but time is short, so I need to move on. Now I'm moving on to number 2, which is Eberron, which I think was the only true Wizards 3.5 thing that they did. You feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, but what people don't understand about Eberron is it's not D&D fantasy in the traditional sense. It's pulp. It's two-fisted, action-paced, temple-throbbing, just action. It's pulp. In this world, magic powers technology, so you've got magical trains, you've got a lot of magical doodads. You've got noble houses which they all have these strange tattoos that appear on their bodies and give them magical powers. They've got some of the best world-specific races ever. You've got the shifters, which are essentially half lycanthropes. You've got the changelings, which are your standard shapeshifters. They just kind of hide out and try to blend in. And you've got the Warforged, which are essentially a weapon for a great war that happened just recently in the campaign setting, and now they're no longer needed. They're living creatures. They're trying to find a place in the world. Some very good campaign hooks for a good player to expand on. Why are we here? Now that I have no purpose, what do I do? They've got one of the best variant classes ever, which is the Artificer, which is sort of the D&D version of a Gadgeteer. They've got a lot of great things, a lot of wonderful things. The main book is just pure awesome. I can't tell you enough. If you find a copy of the main book for Eberron, sent in a game store somewhere, some dusty shelf somewhere, pick it up. Give them your damn money. You won't be disappointed. It really is well done. The later books start losing their consistency. They start turning kind of a milquetoast version of the Forgotten Realms. So, like I said at the top, the first book is awesome. There's some decent adventures, and it was decently supported. There was a 4th edition. Yet again, 4th edition wasn't as good as the 3.5 version. Still really fun to play. Really fun world. I really love Eberron. I'll probably do a video on why Eberron rocks. And this will bring me to the number 1, which is not a wizard setting. As you noticed from my worst settings, there were some non-wizard settings in there, and this one is Golaren, the Inner Sea, by Paizo. It's the setting for the Pathfinder RPG. It was done originally as 3.5, and apparently at one time it was supposed to be a 4th edition setting. I'm glad they went with their own setting, because their own system, because it's really well done. It's very internally consistent. There's a lot of countries, but all the countries feel different. If you want a different feeling campaign, you pick a country with that campaign you want, and you just go for it. Everything is just well written. There's a lot of good scenario support. There's adventure paths. The players are the big damn heroes of the setting. There's no giant meta plot crushing your players. Everything can be done. It's just well done. The only problem I'm having with it right now is that there's too much for it. Paizo, you got to realize sometimes less is more. And if you keep your fan base just a little bit hungry, they'll be coming back to you. The editing slips a little bit every now and then because they put out so many books. Other than that, it's top notch. It is well worth it. And I had to give it number 1, just because it is everything I wanted in a setting, rolled together, and there's a lot of TLC. There's a lot of heart in that setting. In fact, the top 4, there's a lot of heart in all of them. In fact, all of this top 10. These are the one where you can see that the developers put some heart into it. And that's it for this time. Like usual, feel free to comment. Feel free to vote me up. Feel free to vote me down. Feel free to share this video. Next time, I'm going to do the most creative settings of D&D, and you're going to get some really big surprises. Can't wait to do this. Again, you guys have a great day. Keep gaming and have fun. Bye-bye.